communicator manual on personal accountability. I know a lot of people try to align or get alignment for their goals and their ideas, but often the enemies of procrastination, boredom, apathy get in the way. Bob will be speaking to us in a speech inspired by John G. Millen from a book he wrote called QBQ. Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Petruska.
We are what we repeatedly do. Therefore, we not have it. Excellence, therefore, is the habit. Aristotle. And I've noticed that leaders, inspiring leaders, share one habit across the board, and that is personal accountability. But in many organizations, we see just the opposite. If you go to a water cooler in many organizations, the questions people ask lose productivity. You'll hear questions like, why is all this change happening to me? Why do we have to go through this again? And that leads to victim thinking. You might hear questions like, when is that ever going to get done? When are they going to come around to us? And that leads to procrastination. And I don't think anybody would want to stand up and admit in a meeting, I'm habitually late on all my work and cause crises around me. That's procrastination. But if I asked you, have you ever had trouble with procrastination? I bet you 90% of the audience would say, yeah, I have. And if you add that up, that interferes with organizational effectiveness. The other incorrect question that we see people ask pertains to who? Who did this? Who's responsible for that mess in the kitchen? Who kind of questions lead to blame storming. Today, I'm going to share with you a very simple formula you can use to eliminate blame, procrastination, and complaint once and for all. And it's simple. It's just asking the right question in the moment. Leaders know how to do this. You start with a what or how. Include I and focus on action. It's that simple. For example, instead of saying, why doesn't sales give me the figures that I need? What do I need to do to work with sales? What do I need to do to understand him better? How can I be a better father? How can I be a better leader? Those questions, the answer is in the question. Accountable people know this. For example, John walks into a busy restaurant uptown and he spots one seat open and he grabs it. A waiter runs by with a plate of food and catches John's eye and says, John, I didn't say John, he said, sir, what can I get you? And John says, I just want a salad and a Coke. And the server says, I'm sorry, we don't serve Coke here. John says, that's okay, I'll have a water instead. And so the waiter smiles, sure, and he goes and gets John his salad, his water, and when he brings it, he brings him a surprise, an ice-cold bottle of Coke. And John says, well, I thought you didn't have Coke here. He said, we don't. I got this from the store down the block. John says, well, how'd you do that? Because you're too busy running around here with all these customers. He says, I didn't go. I gave $1 to my manager and he bought it. So when you think about that inner relationship and what just happened, that server had some choices to make, didn't he? First of all, John wasn't even sitting in his section. He could have said, well, why doesn't Ann take care of this person? Right? Why do I have to do everything? He didn't say, well, we just don't have a Coke on the menu. Forget it. bag it, he'll settle with the water. He wanted to delight that customer, solve that problem. That's personal accountability. What about the manager? The manager could have said, well, let me check your employment file and see if you're worthy of me going down to the store and getting that for you this one time. He didn't. The manager could have said something like, why should I do your job? Instead, the manager didn't say, you're here to serve me. I'm a leader. I help you achieve your goals. Servant leadership is what it's all about. And it takes the humble spirit combined with the heart of a servant for that to happen. Humility is the cornerstone of leadership. Personal accountability means that we make a commitment. And that commitment is that we commit our head, our hands, and our heart to solving the problem and never again fixing the blame. By just asking correct questions. What, how, include I, focus on and, action. We can re-script the thoughts in our head. Leaders know this. It's the moment-by-moment decisions we make in that very moment that matters most. Commitment is about taking that personal accountability. Are you committed? Mr. Toastmaster.
All right, a few comments for Golf for his excellent speech up here.